Josiah be jamming.
Yeah, that purple be a problem, they don't like that. We don't turn the other cheek, yeah, we fight back. We keep the law, we teach the law, they don't like that. We waking up the 12 tribes, they don't like that. Yeah, that purple be a problem, they don't like that. We don't turn the...
I got it. It's the book of Joshua, chapter 6 and verse 18. And you, in any wise, keep yourselves from the accursed thing, lest ye make yourselves accursed, when ye take of the accursed thing, and make the camp of Israel a curse and trouble it.
Read.
But all the silver and gold and vessels of brass and iron are consecrated unto the Lord. They shall come into the treasury of the Lord.
So the silver, the gold, and the brass of the Lord, the silver, the gold, and the vessel of brass and iron, it was consecrated to the Lord. So they supposed to brought it into the treasury of the Lord.
The book of Joshua, chapter 7 and verse 21. When I saw among the spoils of goodly Babylonish garment and 200 shekels of silver and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight, then I coveted them and took them, and behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent.
So remember in Joshua chapter 6, verse 18 and 19, he said, that the silver and the gold is consecrated unto the Lord. Where you read in Joshua chapter 7, verse 21, Achan had took the silver gold. So that's your answer for 1 Chronicles 2, verse 7. So that was the cursed thing, the silver and the gold, because it was to be consecrated to the temple of the Lord. All right. Okay. King Josiah reigned at 8 years old. The Bible or the book of the law wasn't found until he was 18 years old. I know his father didn't teach him because he was wicked as hell. So who taught Josiah? Because he done what was right in the sight of the Lord. So remember when you read 2 Chronicles, go to 2 Chronicles 34, verse 1. Nobody didn't teach Josiah. Josiah taught himself, believe it or not. Start at verse 1 real quick. And then I'm not going to read the whole chapter. You can read the whole chapter, 2 Chronicles chapter 34 yourself. Whoever asked this question. And it'll give you good history. Read that verse 1.
Yes, sir. The book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 34 and verse 1. Josiah was 8 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned in Jerusalem 31 years. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, and walked in the ways of David.
That's the clue right there. It say he walked in the ways of David.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 22 and verse 2. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, and walked in all the way of David his father.
So that's all he did. He just followed himself out of his great-granddaddy. He walked in the ways of David his father. He wasn't taught because they didn't find the book of the law until I think he was about 36 years old or something when they found the book of the law. But go back to 2 Chronicles real quick, 34, and we'll read verse 2 again.
The book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 34 and verse 2. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, and walked in the ways of David his father, and declined neither to the right hand nor to the left.
So that's all he did. He learned about that. You know how to, ain't this Job 8 and 8? Prepare to search of thy fathers. Yes, so he searched out his forefathers. He patterned himself out this forefather David. He knew who the prophets was at the time. And it also was a prophecy about King Josiah that he was going to come and be a righteous king. It was already prophesied that he was going to come and do what was right in the Lord. At the time, they had Hilkiah the high priest, and then they had Huldah the prophetess. When he found the book of the law, they read it. And, Josiah, he rent his clothes and because he humbled himself before the Lord sat up there and decided not to destroy Jerusalem during that time.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 13 and verse 1. And behold, there came a man of God out of Judah by the word of the Lord unto Bethel. And Jeroboam stood by the altar to burn incense.
So this is the prophecy right here of Josiah coming in, to reign and to burn down to offer the Balaam's priests upon the altar and burn the incense of the men's bones should be burnt up. This is basically a sign right here of Josiah, coming into reign. Read on.
Verse 2, and he cried against the altar in the word of the Lord and said, O altar, altar, thus saith the Lord, behold, a child shall be born unto the house of David, Josiah by name, and upon thee shall he offer the priests of the high places that burn incense upon thee, and men's bones shall be burnt upon thee.
So he was going to basically destroy the high places, destroy their priests, all of that. So it was just prophesied that he was just going to come and have a righteous rule, a righteous reign.
All right. So this question states, what does it mean to be void of judgment? Is that reprobate? Yes, that's reprobate. But what does it mean to be reprobate? Let's start off with Titus chapter 1, verse 16 first.
The book of Titus, chapter 1 and verse 16. They profess that they know God, but in works they deny him.
Right. So for somebody to profess that they know God, that means that somewhat they've been taught, somebody showed them the way, right? And that way that they was taught was right. Go ahead.
Being abominable and disobedient.
Being abominable and disobedient. So the things that they were taught, they don't continue in those things. That's what it means to be reprobate. It's not like a lot of our people out there, they're void of judgment. They're void of understanding, but it's not the same thing that what you're reading here, as in your question, void of judgment. Somebody got to be taught judgment to be reprobate. All right. So I just want to make that clear.
And being disobedient and unto every good work, reprobate.
Right. So every good work. So what's good, brothers? The laws. The law. So that means that they came in, they learned it, and they left it. They walked away from it. All right. Now let's get 2 Timothy 3 and 8.
The book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 8.
Good.
Now as Janes and Jambres withstood Moses.
Jannes?
Yes, sir. Now as Jannes and Jambres withstood Moses. So do these also resist the truth.
Right. So these are brothers or sisters that resist the truth. They've come into it, they learned it, and then they reject it. They resist it. Right? Go ahead.
So do these also resist the truth. Men of corrupt minds, reprobate.
What?
Reprobate.
Come on.
Concerning the faith.
Concerning the faith. It's a lot of things that people believe, but that which you were taught is what you're supposed to continue in, except ye be reprobate. Everybody understand that? All right, all praise. So I pray that you got some resolve, whoever asked this question.
He said, there are plenty of times I be in the word watching IUIC. I have ended up bored, dabbing into sins. How do I stay in the spirit without getting bored? And stay motivated in the truth for information. There are plenty of times I don't have anyone righteous to talk to. It's often this the problem. Thing y'all need to understand, like when you get, as you grow in this truth, when you dealing with certain things, you should have no problem making confession. I done sat around this brother, man, and talked about all types of problems. Yeah, we go through it too. You know what I'm saying? You hear leadership, upper leadership, they'll say things that they probably battling and stuff like that. But see, that's a good thing. I'm gonna tell you why. Go to James 5 and 16. When you sit up there and make confession, or you sit up there and you counseling with somebody, you talking to them about what you're going through. And the scriptures do say have one counsel of 1,000. It's best for you to sit up there to go to your peers and just let them know, look, hey man, hey, I'm going through this, bro. Look. And that way, the brothers can pray for you, give you encouragement. And that's what'll keep you motivated right there. A lot of times when you by yourself, you're going to fall out. It's easy for Satan just to pull you out, man, for real. But when you got multiple people that, I have multiple people calling me, hey, Cap, how you doing, man? You good? Man, how that's going? You good? That's what's going to help keep you motivated. That's the brotherhood right there, So you got to have the brotherhood. And you sisters, y'all got to have sisters amongst you to help keep you motivated also. Read that real quick.
Yes, sir. The book of James, chapter 5 and verse 16. Confess your faults one to another.
He said, confess your faults one to another. I'm talking to one of my Officer 50s like 2 days ago. And he was like, look, man, Cap, man, I'm dealing with this. I'm battling this. So me and him, we spoke for about an hour, on what he battling. And, after he spoke, a lot of times people don't understand. When you make confession, it feels good to make confession. He wasn't in the midst of sin. It's just he was battling. All of us battle. Galatians 5 and 16. The spirit going to fight against the flesh. The flesh going to fight against the spirit. It's going to be like that till you die. you're going to battle wicked thoughts till you die. A lot of people always used to ask me, how do I get rid of the wicked thoughts? No, they're going to keep coming back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you have a clear mind. You be sober-minded at one point in time, but Satan coming right back to tempt you. You know, that ain't going to stop, y'all. I'm just telling you right now. Anybody up in here saying they don't battle no wicked thoughts, then I don't know. You might not be Israel. I'm just telling you right now. Because Satan's job is to sit up there to pull you back to worshiping him. Read that again.
The book of James, chapter 5, verse 16. Confess your faults one to another and pray one for another.
And pray for one for another. So after the brother confessed his faults to me, I sat up there and straight up prayed for him. You know? You need righteous men praying for you. You need righteous sisters praying for you. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
That ye may be healed.
That you may be healed. Read on.
The effectual, fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much.
Yeah, availeth much. And get that in Hebrews 3 and 13 real quick. I don't think I read this in a long time. When you make confession and you dealing with stuff, you're going to have people, and you told somebody they really love you, they're just going to call you. And they're going to check on you, bro. Look, you good? Hey, man, don't get caught up. They'll read you a couple of scriptures, no matter how good you know the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? They'll bring the understanding out to you, you know, to keep you motivated, to constantly exhort you. Read that real quick.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 3 and verse 13. But exhort one another daily, while it is called today.
You see that? Exhort one another daily while it's called today. That's it?
It's more.
Read it.
Lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin.
You see that? Unless you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. So you done made confession. You done told somebody, hey, look, man, I'm dealing with this. I'm doing that. And now they praying for you. You know what I'm saying? Now they calling, checking up on you every day. That's what they exhorting you. Hey, bro, stay in the spirit, man. Hey, you ain't on that internet looking at the porn, ain't it? You ain't doing this, ain't it, bro? Stay away from the hoes, bro. You don't need. Hey, get rid of the black book, man. You just whatever he gonna tell you, whatever you dealing with, whatever he tell you. Cause I call brothers, I say off the wall stuff. Especially when they told me something. And they told me, man, look, man, I don't know, man. I just be going back to watching porn. I call it, brother. I'm like, bro, you ain't up in there. You don't got no damn lotion sitting at the computer watching on porn. For real. I just flat out said. Brother be like, nah, I've been in the spirit. I'm like, I'll pray, bro. Stay in the spirit. Because you don't want to lie to you, brother. You know, that's going to be more shameful if you is. But it's one last one I want to get, Galatians 6 and 2. So, yeah, man, confess. That way, a brother can pray for you, a sister can pray for you. Somebody called me the other day, and I was fasting. I said, "Hey, you know what? I'm already fasting. You're gonna be in my prayers because I fast probably every other day." And that's another thing too for the person that asked this question right here. You gotta fast. You know, man. Look, remember. The Pharisees came to Christ and they asked them, why do John's disciples fast often and your disciples barely fast? You know, and he was like, Christ said, shall the children of the bridegroom mourn while you're here? Basically, he went on to explain, but after Christ is taken from us, he explained after he's taken from us, we're going to have to fast often. Yeah, we're in a time where we got to fast often. Now, I ain't telling nobody to do no 7-day fast or 3-day fast or 4-day fast, but you got to fast more than one day out of the week, you know. Fast a day, eat a day, you know. If you can fast 2 and 3 days straight, fast 2 and 3 days straight. This is going to help you be sober-minded, you know, be sober-minded and things like that. Help clear your head, clear your thoughts, and build your spirit up. Help you learn, become more temperate. Help you become more disciplined. Because you sitting up there, you got to think, food and water is the necessities of life, the things that we need to live. And when you can restrict yourself from that for a day or two or whatever, you can restrict yourself from sin. It's just all on you, but you got to learn to become disciplined. You got to constantly exercise yourself within it. Galatians 6 and 2 again, read.
Yes, sir. Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ.
You see that? And so fulfill the law of Christ. So that's what I say right there, man. Look, confess your sins. You need to get to know people. Seem like whoever wrote this don't congregate a lot, you know. Because if you ain't talking to nobody, you know, I don't understand.
What is the nation? Some of you nation is men leading by example.